Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, we will be discussing the Q3FY25, regarding the QSR industry. We will be doing all the companies in this space, right? Devyani International, Sapphire, Westlife Foodworld, Restaurant Brand Asia, and Jubilant Foodworks. So we will be doing around 5 companies, the 5 most important one over here. Okay. So first, let us understand before we go into like in depth, and understanding each and every company. First, let us understand, like on the broader aspect what is happening in this space. Okay, because one thing we have seen over the last 2 years, I think we have seen that the demand has been very soft, very meek, right? And especially post covid, what has happened, people are very reluctant to do the dine-in option, like especially with this fast food, they want to do a lot of this delivery aspect they need, right? And a lot of these companies had this USP where it was like, we will give you the best of the best delivery, delivery under 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and that was their main USP. And the second was quick. Since you're a QSR, the food to you is available readily, like, or in a very quick manner, right? And both of these things were disrupted by the aggregator or the food delivery platforms such as Zomato and Swiggy, right? Because with Zomato and Swiggy, what had happened, one, you had plethora of options, right? So you got, maybe earlier you were only getting burgers and pizzas like this from QSR. Now we are even able to get a really good thali and very exclusive dishes also, right? Available at your doorstep, right? And that had been made possible through very less delivery time, like with Zomato Gold under 30 minutes, right? So that became a problem, and that gave a lot of competition over here, for QSR space. And the advent, because of this Zomato and Swiggy, what had happened was a lot of people were able to put up a cloud kitchen and able to do the same QSR kind of model without having to need a big investment also. So there was a huge disruption that happened in this space, right? And due to the competitive intensity in this landscape, like all of these companies really suffered. And to make matters worse, the inflation was so bad. Inflation on both the ends, that was with respect to the food, you had raw material inflation, and also from the consumer side, the consumer was also downsizing, right? Like earlier, if a person was buying large pizza, now he buys a medium pizza. The person who was buying medium pizza was buying your regular pizza, right? So all of these problems were happening in the QSR space, and it was really really bad, like to an extent that many of these companies became loss making companies. Most of the companies ka SSG that is there went down, went in the double negative, like -10 -12% in that range it went, right? And a lot of them also stopped opening many, like new stores, and they started even shutting down the previous stores that they had opened. So when all of these things were happening, right, like again the entire demand was very subdued, right? This is the past, this is the history of QSR space, or an overview of what has happened until now. Now, how has Q3FY25 shaped up, right? Because Q3FY25 is one of the best period, right? Because we have a lot of holiday seasons, festival mood is there, so people tend to go out and eat, right? So because of that, so how has that really shaped Q3? And like, do we see this trend? Because we keep talking about with QSR, and I believe this is that one space, especially post COVID, which has gone into a tremendous downturn, and and it has never come up, it's never done that U-turn from there, right? So are we finally seeing some changes over here, with QSR industry? Has the tide really changed? Is something that we will see here. Okay, first thing first, with the Q3FY25 broader aspect mein agar aap dekhte ho, right, overall everybody has started to grow, right? And everybody's SSG that is there, the same store sales growth is also improving, right? And we are seeing a very positive demand coming back, like demand yahan pe thoda sa at least is turning tide for the good only. And now it is a matter of like, can they sustain it? Because you don't want it to be like Q3 अच्छा था तो इसलिए ये sale हुआ था. And I mean, I think that is one thing, a bit of an ambiguity over there कि like शायद आगे जाके वो Q4 में भी शायद बाजी ना पलटे, right? Like that is one thing, ठीक है. Other than that, if you look at it, all of them, each and everybody, each and every QSR, if you see, right, उसका growth वापस आ गया है to a certain extent. Not the best, not like glory days, but it is at least better than last Q3 and last quarter at least for that matter. Okay, and even the SSG has improved. Okay, now we will go to the nitty gritty part. We will analyze each and every company. Okay, the pehla company we will do is Devyani International. Okay, now when you look at over here, you see that the sales, right, sales has increased by 54%, and jo PAT is at -7 crore versus the losses has widened over here. It is at -7 crore versus it was -5 crore in last Q3. Now why did the sales itna bada kyun hai, like 54%? Like what really happened over here? So in this year, they had Devyani International, they acquired this, they did an acquisition where they acquired KFC Thailand. Okay, so now what happens, since you acquired KFC Thailand, now last year mein to kuch nahi tha, so all of a a sudden your base is bigger ना, because last time KFC Thailand नहीं था, तो अभी तो KFC Thailand भी आपका balance sheet में आ चुका है. So as a result, because of this, you're seeing this 54% का growth. ठीक है. Now let us talk about individual, because if you talk about Devyani International, they have KFC Thailand, they have KFC India and Pizza Hut India. They also have some international operations like Nigeria, right? These kind of countries, chotu sa countries, where they make, where they have the license to, open KFC का stores and sell. Now let us go and see कि like अगर आप देखते हो Devyani India में क्या हुआ है, right? So Devyani India, which is combines both आपका KFC and Pizza Hut over here the sales grew by 9%, which you might say कि like 9% is not an ideal thing. Yes, it is not. But having said that, अगर आप देखते हो यहाँ पे sales at one point sales was down also, right? Sales was flat, SSG was -12 and all. So from that place, if you're coming, आप वहाँ से अगर आप 9% कर रहे हो ना, that is only a big deal at the end of the day. So at least यहाँ पे one thing over here, looking at the growth rate, the fact that they've been able to grow at least 9% ना, it shows you that things are improving. ठीक है. The biggest shock over here with both Devyani and with the entire Sapphire Domino's, right? Like with the entire QSR chain, if you see, right, the biggest shocker has been the pizza space, right? Because if you look earlier in the like अगर आप QSR category को करते हो, right, you could divide it into three categories. One is the pizza space, one is the burger space, and the other one is your fried chicken category. Okay, out of all of this, if you see, fried chicken category was the least impacted. Okay, and the worst and the most impacted in this QSR category was the pizza space. Okay, now as of Q3, if you see, and this was I believe like couple of quarters ago, but as of Q3 if you see, यहाँ पे पूरा बाजी उल्टा हो गया, पलट गया. ठीक है, like KFC or the fried chicken category that we talk, that in fact is not performing really well at all, and the category that has is seeing some signs of reversal in fact is the pizza category. Because if you look at KFC ka Devyani KFC's India ka SSG, if you look at it, it is at -6.4 versus -4.6 in the last Q3. And if you look at Pizza Hut का SSG is at -0.8 versus it was -12.6 in last Q3. So -12.6 से आप you've come to like 0.8. That is like extremely tremendous over here. ठीक है. Other than that, उनका अगर आप देखते हो, very good in terms of in terms of store addition also. Store additions they've done really well. Thailand का अगर आप बात करते हो यहाँ पे, Thailand का if you look at it, they've added 20 to 25 stores over here, and and on top of that they're targeting Thailand में उतना कुछ नहीं, like as of now if you're seeing the base effect is really playing because Thailand was not there last year as of now, but going forward even they are telling कि like in Thailand expect an SSG of 3 to 4%, and अगर आप चाहते हो कि like revenue growth वहाँ से Thailand से could be 11 to 12%. So it's not like because that they have acquired Thailand का KFC, some huge mixes happening over here. And one thing that I can tell like especially in these Asian countries that are there now, the fast food chain really doesn't really work that well for some reason, because like it really caters, especially this fast food chains now, they're mainly catering only to the foreign tourists that come over there, right? Because whether you go to Thailand, whether you go to Indonesia or anything, in these countries now they have that night market, they have that 7-Eleven that are much cheaper alternative for a localite compared to let's say coming and like eating in Thailand and eating in Thailand ka KFC or Bali ka आप KFC में जाके खा लो, like that is one I've seen a huge trend over there. Like when you come to India, I would say eating at a KFC or a McDonald's is cheaper than going and dining in a restaurant. Even it could be a very basic restaurant, right? That would be like a bit more expensive compared to like KFC or McD. Like I mean, think about it. You can literally go to Domino's and get like garlic bread for what, like 150, 130 rupees. But it's quite ulta when you go to Southeast Asian countries. There it is quite reverse. You go to like like Burger King and everything, you're paying probably like 600 baht for like a meal, okay? And you probably go to a street market, you'll get that entire meal for like 200 baht in Thailand. Like that is one huge difference that I've observed over here. So I understand like why they're telling, in spite of this huge base that is coming with them, the stores are coming, why uska 11 to 12% growth they are expecting from Thailand ka KFC. Next we will do is Sapphire also over here, sales is up by 14% and PAT is up by 30. Now see over here कि like both Devyani and अगर आप Sapphire के बारे में बात करते हो, both are doing KFC and Pizza Hut only in India, right? only the geography and the locations that they have is completely different. But can you see over here, Devyani ka sales grew by 9%, India ka sales, Sapphire ka grew by 14%, literally more, way more than that of, almost आप बोल सकते हैं not double, 9 into 2 is 18, but still almost आप बोल सकते हो like 50% से भी ज़्यादा ही grow किया Sapphire है, right? So in this race between Devyani and Sapphire, you can clearly see one, Sapphire is winning. Not just that, if you look at Sapphire ka SSG also, both in terms of KFC as well as Pizza Hut, you will see KFC India का SSG इनका यहाँ पे as of Q3 it is -3%, उनका SSG कितना था -6.5%, and Pizza Hut का SSG अगर आप देखते हो Devyani का था it was -0.5, and Sapphire का है is 5%, positive 5%, ठीक है? So you can see over here by leaps and bounds that Sapphire over here is winning, and Devyani का कहना है कि like that Sapphire, if you look at it, they have Delhi, Chennai, and I don't know which other state it was, West Bengal, which is like a primary chicken market, right? So that is why they were able to post, the sister company was able to post a better number. But having said that, आप जो भी बोला आपका location अच्छा है, that is that, this is that, ultimately market को सिर्फ एक ही से फर्क पड़ता है, and that is the sales growth का number यहाँ पे. And you can see over here clearly that Sapphire is winning, right? I mean, Devyani wouldn't have been able to clock that 54% का growth if that base effect of that Thailand wouldn't be there, ठीक है? Another update over here with respect to KFC and Pizza Hut is like, as you know, with the entire, अगर आप Q-commerce में बात करते हो, right? Q-commerce has started this new thing now, like 10 minutes में food delivery, like Swiggy, Instamart has Bolt, then Blinkit is doing this Bistro, and Zepto is doing Zepto Cafe, right? Where within 10 minutes your food is going to be cooked and delivered to you. But you see one thing, right? Like the entire thing over here is mostly regarding the snacking category, right? And yeah, and I think somebody had asked the question, like, how are you competing? Because see, ultimately QSR का ultimate USP क्या है? You're able to do delivery at the very quickest time. Not only that, the other most important USP is आपको like खाना जो है, you get it very जल्दी, 7 to 8, 7 to 10 minutes is your wait time, for you to place your order and collect your food. So how are you going to be like competing with this when these people are telling that they will deliver the food also within 15 minutes and give you, right? And उनका कहना है कि like with both Sapphire and Devyani, right now they've started this new thing called as late night thing. Okay, first of all, when they were telling that only कि like see, anyways we are already there in that category. It is not that we have to try something any new, because although this Bistro by Blinkit हो गया या Zepto by Zepto Cafe हो गया, they're going into the snacking category like samosa and other things, where they're giving in under 10 minutes ka delivery, but I'm giving you the entire meal only in like 7 to 10 minutes now, because Pizza Hut ka average wait time is 15 minutes, agar आप KFC जाओ तो it is 8 minutes. So I don't have to compete with them in terms of providing them option, because that is what my USP has been from before. But over here, one thing, yes, we can do compete with delivery, and we have to strengthen the delivery, not just in terms of Pizza Hut, but also in terms of KFC. That is something that we have to do, ठीक है? The other thing they're doing is to compete with this, they have started opening their stores that are there up to late night. Earlier, if you remember, like उनका KFC का store, right? Like usually I think people, whenever they think about KFC, they never think about it for lunch. They always used to think about it as evening ka snack या dinner ka time, right? And what they did, they realized कि like उनका 11 to 3 o'clock, that entire time that is there, where the inventory was not being used, store is left empty. So what they did, they started this lunch ka menu, right? 149 rupees में lunch मिलेगा आपको 11 to 3 o'clock to utilize the inventory in a better way. Similarly, अब क्या कर रहे हैं? They are also opening the stores until late night, and in this way, what is happening? That late night orders they're able to get it. So this is another category they're trying to get into, trying to get into late night orders, and weirdly it is working well for them, because yeah, abhi as of now, if you see 10% of the orders that they get, 10% of the orders is coming from this late night category. Okay? So that's it with Devyani and Sapphire over here. If you look, yes, obviously Sapphire is winning compared to Devyani. Sapphire comes number 1, Devyani comes number 2. Pizza Hut has been doing really well. That is kind of surprising, because we know that was the least interesting space in the entire QSR, and that is doing really well over here. Only thing over here is the KFC, the chicken category that is there. Even that has to really buckle up, and if that even SSG turns positive, because KFC is a huge push over here, then I think we can expect that double-digit kind of growth over here, for both KFC as well as for both Devyani as well as Sapphire. Okay. Then the other, I will tell you, probably the least interesting category over here is Westlife Foodworld, because इनका जो sales है, it grew 9%, and उनका जो PAT is down by 60%, like a whooping 60%. I think this is the only company over here जिसका PAT has fallen by the by most amount compared to anybody else, and utna kuch improvement bhi nahi ho raha hai. Same store sales growth also, if you see, it is at 3%, positive 3. Last time it was at minus 9%. Now over here also the same thing, basic कुछ नहीं था, मतलब आप minus 9% में थे, उससे 3% आप करोगे तो मतलब okay fine great, ठीक है. Other than that उनका जो there is nothing new happening over here. I mean they are not really bullish even in the con call. बोल रहा था कि like demand is still soft, very soft बोल के, and they have a guidance to open 45 to 50 stores, okay, every year. And as of 9 months they've opened 24 stores. 24 stores have opened, so that is another roughly 20 to 25 stores you have to open in the next 3 months. So I do not know if it will be possible or not, considering the demand ka situation is also not that great. I mean see, and yeah, obviously your sales grew 9%. I mean it's at least not degrowing, it is great, but it is not ki like aapka sales jo hai 20-30% se grow kar raha hai, where you can just go very aggressive in terms of store expansion also. That is also not the case over here now. And SSG has just turned positive in this quarter. God knows if this SSG can be sustained for all this QSR company at this rate also. So for me that has been a bit of a disappointment, I tell you, because whether it is Sapphire, whether it is Devyani, right, no matter what they have done, I mean in terms of unka sales acha nahi ho raha hai, SSG nahi ho raha hai, but one thing is their store expansion has been right on top of the mark. They've not done anything. Like if they had planned XYZ store they will open this year, they've done that. Like for example Devyani had a plan कि like इस साल के अंदर we will cross the 2000 store का mark, and they have done that, right? So over here, if this, I understand कि like the situation is such कि like आपका store opening नहीं हो सकता है, but still, right, I mean everybody in the space is facing the same situation, but they've still been on mark to open the stores, and यहाँ पे probably they might underperform in terms of the store opening. Now management has told कि like yeah, we are not recalling the guidance of opening 45 to 50 stores, we will do so, but it seems like it is tougher कि like आपने 9 महीने में सिर्फ 25 stores खोला है, right, and your target is to open 45 to 50, so that's another 20 stores minimum. 9 महीने में आपने 24 stores खोल लिया, so I mean in 3 months you'll open 20 stores. That is like I don't know, that seems a bit impossible considering the situation that is there, ठीक है. Then we will do about restaurant brand Asia. अगर आप देखते हो, here is the thing, right, restaurant brand Asia, if you look at it, when things were going downturn, this was that one company that जिसका growth rate तो अच्छा था, bottom line तो छोड़, इसका तो bottom line कभी भी नहीं था, ठीक है. And they really screwed it up by going and doing this acquiring that Indonesia का business. But over here I believe now it has been a completely opposite. Like the same restaurant brand Asia, which used to be the the best in the space, now it has also become a least interesting player, because iska jo sales hai, sales grew by 5.6% only, okay, and losses that are there, losses have widened from minus 40 to minus 55 crore. Like sorry, losses have widened from 40 to 55 crore. I don't know why I keep telling minus and positive, but anyways, right. So anyway, over here also the main reason over here, because if you look at restaurant brand Asia na, inka to do business hai. One is India based business and Indonesia. In India they have Burger King India, and in Indonesia they have Burger King Indonesia and Popeyes in Indonesia they have, ठीक है. So if you look over here, sales is up by 11.2% for Burger King India, SSG is at negative 0.5, ठीक है, and उनका जो store expansion है, it's going on great. 69 stores opened as of 9 months, okay. So overall great only over here with respect to Burger King India, देखो, because it's not that it's like sales has not grown, because अगर आपने देखा Devyani का sales grew how much, 9%, Sapphire का sales कितना, 14%, Westlife Foodworld का कितना, 9%, and here how much restaurant brand Asia का India का sales, if you look at it, it grew by 11%, ठीक है. So when you look at India sales, you can see that restaurant brand Asia is coming number 2 in the space. So how is it आपका India का sales grew by 11.2, but your consolidated sales grew by 5% only, like 5.4? The reason is because the Indonesia का business, right, Indonesia business has gone downhill this entire year. Since the start of this year, Indonesia का sales has just plummeted and plummeted. That is it. Because इसका total sales Indonesia का अगर आप देखते हो consolidated, combining both Burger King Indonesia as well as Popeyes, sales has been down by 9.5. क्योंकि यहाँ पे, as you guys remember, right, there was a big geopolitical issue going on, right, because Indonesia is a Muslim country, and during this Israel-Hamas war, America was supporting Israel and giving all the aid, right, and all these brands, whether it is Burger King, Popeyes, Domino's, everything, Pizza Hut, KFC, all of these are American brands. So obviously those people being being very staunch supporter of Islam, they they didn't want to support any American brand because America is supporting Israel, and they started pelting stores stones on all these stores. They started boycotting American brands. They stopped, eating from all these things. So as a result, the entire situation, with Indonesia ka business had become really, really worse for them the entire year. And this quarter is no different. In fact, if you look at them, उनका जो Burger King का जो Indonesia का जो SSG है, right, it is at -4%. Okay, and in fact in Burger King India they have literally closed 15 stores, right, like literally closed 15 stores because they are like, भाई देखो existing stores ही perform नहीं कर रहे और stores add करके क्या ही फायदा. And with Popeyes Indonesia, which was working so well for them, Popeyes के Indonesia, they haven't even opened one store in this entire year. So you can only imagine how bad and how terrible the conditions are. Management बोल रहा है ठीक है, but that situation is improving. Like people are not hating, that anti-Semitism kind of, that it's not there anymore. That hate and all is not there. The kind of protest is not there. At least we're not seeing from the Jan of this year. But having said that, we are not going to be. They are very confident. Like they won't be continuing this Indonesian operation. When I tell won't be continuing is they're not keen on adding any more stores. Now you tell me, if the demand is so good, if everything is so good, why would you not try and expand your number of stores now? And these people are like, नहीं हम लोग ये नहीं करेंगे, because it's very simple कि like जो existing stores है वही काम नहीं कर रहे, उसको ही हमें rationalize करना पड़ रहा है, उसको ही हमें we have to modify those stores, either cut down in terms of size या relocate करना पड़ रहा है उसको. So it makes no sense, while existing stores are really not working, to open new stores. In fact, the situation is so worse. उनका जो franchisor है, which is that Yum, which is Popeyes and Burger King का जो main head है, which is in the US, they've even also gone and spoken to them कि like because see, whenever they do this, they sign an agreement and they agree to give a certain royalty and everything. There is it is written in your deal itself, that no matter what happens, you should open by hook or crook so and so stores. All these are given in your deals, okay, like itna tumhe stores open karna chahiye and everything. So for you to be able to go and talk to that owner and tell him कि like भाई मैं तो यहाँ पे रोक रहा हूँ, मैं मुझसे तो नहीं होगा, that shows you कि like यहाँ पे कितना बड़ा problem हो चुका है. And because of this Indonesia का business, because Indonesia का Burger King and Popeyes is not performing really well, उसका असर even is falling on the Indian operations, right? Because think about it, India का operations grew by 11%. Because this Indonesia ka operations didn't grow, the consolidated sales that we see, sales hardly grew by 5.4, and that is one of the main reasons also you will see that the loss that is there is getting wider and wider and wider. I believe if probably the restaurant brand Asia, if they never went and they acquired this Indonesia ka Burger King and Popeye, if they never agreed to get that license and build on it, probably right now Burger King India, if you look at it, probably it would have been profitable company, might have, right? I mean, there was a huge possibility because they have the highest amount of store expansion, innovative menu in terms of QSR. SSG is also quite strong for them. It had been in the past, even now also they're recouping back. Everything is going great for them. They have a really good branding. They're penetrating into newer and newer. And in fact, only for Burger King India, if you see, right, jiska, every QSR will have this value meal option, right? Only for Burger King India, the value meal somehow works. It's not really draining them down. It's something that works really well for them. They've really figured out how to do it. So it's really sad to see, unka jo bottom line jo hai, it's like, it's getting worse and worse because of that Indonesia ka business over there. Okay? Then the last one over here is Jubilant Foodworks. So Jubilant Foodworks, I would say, is the most surprising result out of all, because if you look at it, especially if you look at the store ka base that is there, you combine Devyani, you combine Sapphire, Burger King and everything. If you combine all of this also, like I would say, like Jubilant, especially if you combine Devyani and Sapphire also, you would see that Jubilant ka base is much bigger compared to these two combined. Okay, so such big is the base of this Jubilant Foodworks, right? Like unbelievable. So in this base also they've been able to grow. Okay, if you look at the sales at first, you see that the sales has grown by 56%. Now again over here also, the reason itna bada number dikh raha is because they have acquired that Turkey, Azerbaijan, and there is another country that is there. Okay, Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Georgia, right? They have acquired these यहाँ पे जो Domino's है, they have acquired that, right? Eurasia का भी थोड़ा उसका है, right? But India operations अगर आप बात करते हो, even the India operations grew by 18.9%. ठीक है? So 19% से India का operations grew, which is the highest, right? Because Sapphire का था around 14, Devyani का India sales was 9, RBA का was around 11%, और कौन था यहाँ पे? Westlife Foodworld was around 9%. So you have literally grown twice of Westlife Foodworld, right? Even like by a huge mark, 19% से you have grown over here, ठीक है. And the reason not just this, उनका सारा पैरामीटर्स अच्छा है, ठीक है. Like now if I have to talk about इसका जो SSG जो है, right, SSG that is there is at 12.5%, highest again, highest ever SSG. Nobody's SSG has been in double digit. All the companies that we saw ने हर किसी का सिंगल डिजिट का ही SSG है. Jubilant Foodwork is the only one जिसका SSG is at 12.5, okay, and last Q3 में it was negative, you know, minus 2.9. So the fact that you're at like from minus 2.9 से तुम 12.5, that's really commendable, that too on this base, right. उनका जो number of orders है, number of orders also grew by 30%. उनका जो delivery है, everything is doing really well for them. उनका जो टर्की का business है, that is also occasionally doing well. So let us first talk about India का business, कि like, you know, later we'll talk about it. So what really went down in this India का business? So there were 4 things that they did right, okay. So first of all उनका था, like see, already we have muted demand, okay, that is nothing I can do. Now I have to find ways to work. इस पे मुझे जुगाड़ करके कैसा भी मुझे sales करना ही है, no matter this muted demand is there. So first what they did was they tried to offer, you know, more offerings, कि like, you know, okay, I understand this demand is muted, ठीक है, and all of the demand is going to, you know, very few places that are there. So what is really clicking in these places, you know, जहाँ पे जो थोड़ा सा भी demand it is going, and they realized, you know, the market is more towards cheese market, ठीक है, and they started introducing this new portfolio such as, you know, ये जो क्या बोलते हैं, cheese volcano pizza, cheese center में डाल के, all of that, you know, lunch combos and all of this. So they try to cater into that one. That is one product offering. Second, उन्होंने क्या किया, right? They tried to do उनका जो marketing का जो थोड़ा investments है, that they try to increase, right? They started to, you know, try to get more brand visibility like they used to have earlier, ठीक है. Third था the huge problem उनका जो था, especially with respect to delivery platform, the huge problem was कि like, you know, the most of the demand that is there, most of the demand was coming from one, like, you know, demand was getting that was uska jo share hai, it was being taken away from Zomato to Zomato and Swiggy to other people. Now I have to be on that aggregator platform. Agar ye aggregator platform mein thoda restaurant hai, and if they are taking a chunk of my market share, I will get on that platform and I will see what I can do. So what they did was they went to Zomato and Swiggy, they got listed over there, and they started saying like, you know, let me compete over here by giving more offers in the same category. So that is what they did. And the last thing is unka jo delivery fee earlier which was there, they waived it off since the starting of the year, which is March 2024. So all of these things they did, right? As a result, because of all of these things, you know, unka jo yahan pe sales hai started picking up, you know, everything has been going well. Now obviously when you have done so much investment with respect to, you know, like, you know, with respect to brand, with respect to marketing, all of this when you have done, there is also a downside to this, right? Like there must be some sort of downside over here, and the downside is कि like यहाँ पे expenses has widened over here, due to which you see a little bit impact in terms of profitability, right? That is also there. And उनका बोलना है कि like see, we will recover this on 2 front. One, if I do this and if I start getting crowd, if I start getting people again accustomed to the brand Domino's, then one is my SSG is bound to improve. That is one thing, okay? And the other thing is how I'm going to like, you know, counter this is, you know, try to get my cost list, especially my operating cost, whether it is my manpower cost, you know, whether it is, you know, my rentals, you know, that is how I'm trying to get, you know, get the cost cutting, ठीक है. So this is regarding their India business. अगर अब टर्की का भी बात करूँ, टर्की is also doing occasionally well, right? उनका there is a little bit problem because Turkey में अभी भी inflation है, but the Sri Lanka and Bangladesh business has really done well, especially Sri Lanka का business that grew by 65%, and this Sri Lanka का business grew 65% in spite of no stores being opened. There was no new stores opened. The entire sale came from the SSG itself. So overall a very, very, you know, I would say good set of numbers from Domino's. The fact that is there. Now only thing is to see if this growth initiative that they're doing, it becomes like a, you know, it gets translated even to bottom line, right? Because I think the path that Domino's is taking is now more like, you know, that जो नया एज स्टार्टअप्स जो बात करती है ना, हम ग्रोथ के पीछे भाग रहे हैं, बॉटम लाइन बाद में दिखा जाएगा, राइट? सो दैट इज हाउ वी आर सीइंग इट, बट ऑल इन ऑल गुड, आई वुड से. I mean द नंबर्स दैट दे हैव गिवन, you know, 19% of growth, which is very long ago it used to be, I think we've seen this kind of numbers, we haven't seen. So for them to be able to do that, okay? So the only thing is, one, we are seeing is growth is coming back. It's not that it has come back in full-fledged force, वो तो नहीं है. Growth is coming back, छोटा छोटा करके आ रहा है. SSG is improving. We have to see if this growth and this SSG जो है, will it be sustained in Q4? Because Q3 तो like is like given it is a good season, right? But Q4 में will it be able to sustain that number? That is a big question mark, because demand, even as of now, it's not that the demand has really improved. It's not that, you know, demand has come back to normal. Inflationary pressure नहीं है, अभी भी है, अभी भी consumer का, you know, discretionary spending जो है, it has not, you know, it has not improved in any way or form. And in लोगों का hope है, you know, because that budget में, you know, they have taken, you know, वो 12 lakhs तक वो income नहीं है, and income tax नहीं भरना पड़ेगा. It has been a little bit positive for people, so probably we could see consumer का, you know, discretionary जो spending है, it could rise. That is their hope. But having said that, there is no bigger hope other than that. Like in terms of like key markets में अगर आप देखते हो, the entire demand seems to be even now a bit lull. Okay, so overall good show by all the QSR companies. I wouldn't say the best or something, but at least when you compare to what it was last Q3 and especially what it was last, you know, the Q2 May, the previous quarter, what it was, the kind of performance each and everybody has put up, it's been really good. Okay, hopefully this continues for them and gets better, because I believe this is that one industry that has gone through like the ultimate downturn, right? And it's finally time for them, you know, to see like a little bit of, you know, rise. Now other than this, if you see, right, the other thing that I mean, the only thing left over here is if you have to put it in terms of race. Okay, I'm only going to talk about India ka seeds over here and take with respect to that. If you see, obviously one is Domino's, followed by Sapphire, followed by Domino's, Sapphire, and then Konta. Devyani, RB, and Westlife. Domino's, Sapphire, Devyani, Westlife, and then RB. That's probably the order or the category I would put, you know, in terms of race, from the most interesting to the least interesting one. Okay, so that's that with QSR Space. I hope you all had fun watching this video and learnt a lot, right? Next, we will do some other companies, thoda, you know, in the manufacturing space we will do. But overall, a great overall okay, I wouldn't say great, but good set of numbers from QSR. And that's that for today's video. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.